We already recorded this.
I like Jane Eyre like a lot, like a shit ton.
We have 2 copies of Jane Eyre. Here's the one that Claire brought. I don't think I even finished this version. I'm pretty sure I never actually finished reading
Jane Eyre is like my classic. She's my girl. I love her.
And so we talked about in this one about Simon and the sisters.
And I was like, she had such a sad life. I love her. I want to just wrap her in a blanket and let her be free. She had a shit life. And then she moved in with Rochester. And then she had some shit. And then she was like, let me be a bird. And he was like, no. And then she found out that he had this, like, previous wife that he had dealt with. And she was like, oh, I'm leaving. And he was like, no. And then she laughed, and then he was like, I'm sad, and I got sick, and come back. And she was like, okay. And then she did, and they lived happily ever after.
Believe it or not, that was a lot shorter of a version than the last one. She talked about it the last one for a long time. Then we talked about, like, symbolism and the restless themes and shit like that. And I think we talked a little bit about the merits of Simon versus Rochester and stuff like that, and how epic the Simon sisters are.
Fuck Simon. Fuck Rochester. Simon isn't actually named Simon, but I don't care.
Yeah, we're just calling him Simon because that's what he was in the autobiography of Jane Eyre, which we both love. Especially her. She's obsessed.
It's the best web series. No offense. It's the best web series.
No offense. It's the best web series. That was a great Gatsby. And so we both agreed that Jordan is the best character. At least we think her name is Jordan.
We're pretty
sure her name is Jordan. She's like Daisy's best friend. Even though we hate kind of all the characters, and I feel like this book is proof that you can like a book while simultaneously hating all the characters. Nick is kind of just like blah. Daisy and Gatsby and Daisy's husband are all just awful.
Yeah.
Jordan is kind of awful, but she's still kind of epic, and she is should have been a lesbian. Oh my god.
Oh,
why wasn't she a lesbian?
Right?
So Great Gatsby, so this dude was real sad when the girl he liked couldn't marry him because he was poor, and so he decides to go be rich. So he like makes a bunch of money and just throws ginormous parties, so hopefully one day she'll notice him.
Here's him. I'm gonna go be rich. It's gonna work out for her.
Nick moves into this like next door to Gatsby, and then Nick is related to Daisy, so Gatsby befriends him and is all like, "Hey, let's be buddies. Help me get in with Daisy." But Daisy's married, but her husband is cheating on her with this other woman who's also married, and then Daisy is driving Gatsby's car and accidentally runs over her,
which I didn't get. And Sam was like, whoa!
Yeah, she didn't realize that the lady that Daisy ran over was the woman that her husband was cheating on her with, which I'm like, bro. And then we talked about symbolism. We talked about the green light, which is like her favorite symbol. And we talked about the colors of the shirts that Gatsby's throwing in that one scene, which we were just kind of like, what? And then we talked about the eyes of God, which are like an optometrist sign that's like above the place where the woman who Daisy's husband was cheating on her with lives with her husband.